What if the exhaustion you feel right now has nothing to do with a lack of sleep? What if the heaviness in your chest isn't from the miles you've walked, but from the invisible strings you've allowed the world to tie to your soul? There comes a quiet moment in life, a threshold you cross without even realizing it, when you begin to feel a weight that rest cannot cure. It is not your body that is weary, but your heart. You feel tired not from external labor, but from the internal battles you fight every single hour. Tired of reacting, tired of explaining, tired of being pulled by things that, deep down, you know should never have the power to move you this much. A single, careless comment ruins your entire day. A heavy silence from someone you love lingers in your chest like an uninvited ghost. A memory from years ago finds its way back, tightening something inside you. Slowly, your peace is no longer yours. You have handed the keys over to the world. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a sacred truth. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. It is not that the world is inherently harsh, but that we allow our inner sanctuary to be invaded so easily. We will not try to fix the chaos outside. Instead, we will simply begin to see clearly and softly what has been quietly controlling us all along. Message 1. The invisible strings. Imagine, for a moment, that your mind is a vast, ancient lake. When the air is still, the water is a perfect mirror, reflecting the silver moon and the silent stars. This is your natural state, one of clarity, depth, and unshakable peace. But then, a sharp word is spoken by a stranger. A friend forgets to call. A plan you cherished falls apart. Each of these moments is like a jagged stone thrown into your waters. Splash. The mirror shatters. Ripples turn into waves, and the mud from the bottom rises, clouding everything you once saw clearly. You spend your entire life trying to smooth the surface with your bare hands, but the more you splash, the more turbulent the water becomes. There is an old Zen story about a young monk who sat by a river, meditating. Every time a leaf floated by, he would reach out to grab it, worried it would clog the flow. Every time a fish jumped, he would startle, losing his breath. His master watched him and whispered, "The river is not bothering you, my son. You are bothering the river." We often believe we are exhausted because life is harsh, because the world is demanding, or because people are unkind. But the deeper Buddhist truth is more subtle. You are not tired because of what is happening. You are tired because you are reacting to everything that happens. Think of every provocation as a hook thrown into the water of your soul. A sarcastic comment is a hook. A delayed reply is a hook. A judgment from someone who doesn't even know your story is a hook. Most of us spend our days swimming from one bait to the next, biting down hard, allowing ourselves to be pulled and dragged through the jagged rocks of emotion. We think we must defend, we must explain, we must fix the perception others have of us. But as the Buddha taught, he who protects his mind from the reactive waves of liking and disliking finds a fortress that no army can conquer. Peace does not begin when the world becomes quiet. Peace begins the moment you stop reaching out to grasp the invisible strings that are trying to pull you. You see the hook, you notice its sharp edge, but you simply let it drift past. You realize that you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to respond to every vibration of the world. When you stop reacting, you stop giving your power away to things that are temporary. You realize that the stone thrown into your lake doesn't have to define the lake. The stone will eventually sink to the bottom and become still. If you don't stir the water, the ripples will fade on their own. So, take a deep breath. Ask yourself gently, which string am I holding on to right now that I could simply let go of? Which hook have I bitten into that I could simply spit out? True mastery is not the ability to change the wind. It is the wisdom to remain unshakable while the storm passes through your branches. You are the sky, not the weather. You are the lake, not the ripples. Stop reaching for the strings, and you will find that you are always free. Message 2. Caring too much is not love, it is bondage. We were taught from a very young age that to care deeply is the highest form of virtue. We were told that the more we worry, the more we love. But have you ever noticed how this caring often feels like a heavy chain wrapped around your heart? You worry about the choices your grown children make. You stress over a friend's bad mood. You carry the weight of a partner's silence as if it were a physical burden on your own shoulders. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a fierce mountain storm. Debris is flying everywhere, twigs, leaves, dust, and heavy branches. Instead of seeking shelter or standing still, you run around frantically, trying to catch every single flying object with your bare hands. You think that by catching them, you are protecting the forest. But all you are doing is getting bruised, exhausted, and swept away by the wind. This is what happens when we confuse attachment with love. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a fundamental distinction that can save your soul. Love is the wish for others to be happy, but attachment is the desperate need for them to be the way you want them to be, so that you can feel okay. The Buddha famously said, "Attachment is the root of all suffering, not because caring is wrong, but because clutching is painful." There is an old Zen story of two monks, Tanzan and Ekido, walking down a muddy road. They met a beautiful girl in a silk kimono. Unable to cross an intersection, Tanzan simply picked her up and carried her over the mud. Later that night, Ekido, brooding and upset, said, "We monks are not supposed to go near women. Why did you do that?" Tanzan replied softly, "I left the girl back there at the road. Why are you still carrying her?" Most of us are like Ekido. We carry the problems, the moods, and the expectations of others long after the moment has passed. We think our worry is a gift to them, but it is actually a cage for us. When you attach your peace to someone else's behavior, you have handed them the keys to your internal prison. The key shift happens when you learn to care with intention, not with compulsion. It is the difference between holding a bird in a cage so it won't fly away, and sitting quietly in a garden so the bird chooses to land on your shoulder. True compassion, what the Buddhists call karuna, does not require you to drown alongside the person you are trying to save. If you jump into the whirlpool to rescue someone and you end up spinning just as wildly as they are, neither of you is free. You must stay on the shore, firmly rooted, holding out a branch. So, ask yourself gently, is my heart open, or is it just clutched tight? Am I loving this person, or am I trying to control the storm they are walking through? Peace begins when you realize that you can love the world without being enslaved by it. You can care for someone's soul without taking responsibility for their journey. Loosen your grip. Let the flying debris of the world fall where it may. When you stop grabbing at everything, your hands finally become empty, and only an empty hand is truly free to hold what is real. Message 3. The illusion of control, holding clouds with chains. Have you ever felt that sharp, persistent tightness in your chest when things don't go exactly as you planned? That frantic need to fix the future, to anticipate every disaster, and to ensure that everyone around you acts exactly the way you expect. We call this being responsible or planning ahead, but if we are honest, it feels more like a slow, quiet suffocation. Imagine standing on a high, wind-swept mountain peak. Above you, the sky is filled with vast, drifting clouds, beautiful, shifting, and utterly beyond your reach. Now, imagine you are holding heavy, rusted iron chains. You throw them upward, again and again, trying to lash those clouds down, trying to bind them to the earth so they won't move, so they won't change shape, so they won't block your sun. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? And yet, this is exactly how we treat our lives. The clouds are the outcomes of our hard work, the feelings of our partners, the health of our bodies. and the unpredictable rhythm of the world. Our chains are our anxiety, our overthinking, and our desperate need for certainty. The clouds don't care about your chains. They simply fluctuate. The only thing the chains succeed in doing is exhausting the person holding them. In Buddhist philosophy, we are reminded of the truth of anicca, or impermanence. Life is not a paved highway that we can map out and dominate. Life is a river. A river doesn't ask for permission to flow around a rock. It doesn't stress over whether it will reach the ocean by Tuesday. It simply moves. When we try to control the river, we build dams of expectation that eventually burst, leaving us devastated. There is an old Zen teaching about an archer. A master archer draws his bow with total concentration. He aligns his body, he masters his breath, and he gives every ounce of his soul to the moment of release. But the moment the arrow leaves the string, the archer's job is over. He has no power over a sudden gust of wind. He cannot command the target not to move. If he spends his life chasing the arrow in his mind, he will never find peace. This leads us to the most liberating shift a human soul can make. Act fully, but release the outcome. Buddhist wisdom doesn't tell you to be passive or lazy. It tells you to be a farmer of the soul. A farmer prepares the soil with love. He chooses the best seeds. He waters them with discipline, but he does not sit over the dirt and scream at the seeds to grow faster. He does not stay awake at night demanding that the rain fall at 2 a.m. He understands that there is a sacred boundary between his effort and the universe's timing. When you drop the chains, you don't lose your way. You actually find your rhythm. You begin to realize that your peace was never dependent on winning. It was dependent on how gracefully you walked the path. So, tonight, look at that one thing you've been trying so hard to control, that person you're trying to change, that promotion you're obsessed with, that version of the future you're terrified won't happen. Visualize yourself setting down the heavy iron chains. Watch the clouds drift, as they were always meant to do. You did your part. Now let the river take you where you need to go. You'll find that when you stop trying to steer the entire ocean, you finally have the strength to simply enjoy the boat. Message 4. The stage you forgot to leave. Have you ever felt like your entire life is a performance? From the moment you wake up and check your phone, to the way you adjust your posture in a meeting, or the carefully chosen words you use to describe your day to a friend, there is a subtle, haunting sense that someone is watching. We live as if there is a spotlight following us, illuminating every flaw, every success, and every silence. Imagine you are standing on a grand, golden stage. The lights are so bright they are blinding. You are wearing a heavy, ornate costume, the mask of the successful professional, the perfect parent, the reliable friend. You perform with everything you have. You smile when you are breaking. You speak with confidence when you are trembling. You wait for the applause, for the nod of approval, for the like or the well done. But if you were to look past those blinding lights into the dark rows of the theater, you would realize something startling. The seats are empty. The audience you are trying so hard to impress is made of phantoms. It is a collection of ghosts from your past, critics who aren't there, and strangers who are far too busy performing on their own stages to truly watch yours. Yet, we are terrified to stop. We are terrified that if we stop performing, we will cease to exist. In Buddhist teaching, this is the tragedy of the ego, the I-making faculty, that believes it must constantly be reinforced by the outside world to be real. We fall into the trap of believing that being seen is the same thing as being alive. There is a beautiful Zen story about a monk named Subhuti. While he was sitting under a tree in the forest, lost in the depths of emptiness, flowers began to fall from the sky around him. The gods whispered, "We are praising you for your sublime discourse on emptiness." Subhuti looked up and said, "But I have not spoken a word about emptiness." The gods replied, "You have not spoken, we have not heard. This is true emptiness. Subhuti didn't need to preach to be holy. He didn't need to be heard to be wise. His reality was found in the silence of his own being, not in the praise of the gods. The key shift in your life happens the moment you realize you don't need to be seen to be real. Think of a wildflower blooming deep in a mountain crevice where no human foot will ever tread. It does not bloom for a hiker's camera. It does not wait for a compliment to be beautiful. It simply unfolds because that is its nature. It is perfectly, vibrantly real in its own solitude. When you stop seeking approval, you finally have the energy to seek yourself. You realize you can walk off that stage at any moment. You can take off the heavy costume. You can let the mask slip. You can sit in the dark, empty theater and realize that the silence is not a void. It is a sanctuary. Tonight, give yourself permission to be invisible for a while. Stop performing for the ghosts. Stop trying to prove your worth to a crowd that isn't there. You are enough in the quiet. You are real in the stillness. You are the flower in the forest, blooming for the joy of the bloom itself. Step off the stage, breathe in the cool air of the wings, and finally, just be. Message 5. The rose in the palm. There is a deep, quiet fear that often haunts the human heart, the fear that letting go is the same as being cold. We have been conditioned to believe that the intensity of our grip is the measure of our love. We think that if we don't worry, if we don't cling, if we don't try to tether someone to our soul, then we must not truly care. But this is the great illusion that keeps us in a state of perpetual ache. Imagine, for a moment, a rose. It is vibrant, fragrant, and perfect in its blooming. Because you find it so beautiful, your first instinct is to reach out and catch it. You are so afraid of the wind blowing it away, or someone else taking it, that you close your fingers around it. You squeeze, but a rose, for all its beauty, has thorns. The tighter you hold, the deeper those thorns sink into your skin. Your palm begins to bleed, and the rose, the very thing you worshipped, is crushed beneath the weight of your fear. It wilts not because of time, but because of your love. In Buddhist wisdom, this is the painful difference between attachment and genuine love. Attachment says, "I want you to make me happy." Love says, "I want you to be happy." There is a famous teaching often attributed to the Buddha. When you like a flower, you just pluck it. But when you love a flower, you water it daily. When we pluck the flower, we choose our own temporary pleasure over the life of the flower itself. We choose possession over presence. There is an old Zen story of a master and a student walking through a forest. They saw a rare bird with feathers like silk. The student whispered, "Master, I want to catch it so I can hear its song every morning." The master smiled sadly and replied, "If you put the bird in a cage, you are not hearing its song, you are hearing its plea for the sky." To truly love the bird is to love the sky it flies in. The key shift in your life happens when you realize you can love deeply without needing to possess. Think of your relationships, your dreams, even your own identity as that rose. True intimacy does not require a cage. It requires a palm that is open, soft, and steady. When your hand is open, the rose can rest there safely. You can feel its velvet petals. You can breathe in its scent. And if a breeze comes to take it away, it leaves without a struggle, leaving behind a memory of sweetness rather than the scar of a thorn. Buddhist practice teaches us the quality of upekkha, equanimity. It is a love that is vast and unconditional, but also remarkably free. It is the ability to hold the world in your heart without trying to tie it to your wrist. Tonight, take a moment to look at what you are clutching. Are your knuckles white from the effort of holding on? Is your heart bleeding because you've squeezed a beautiful thing too hard? Try, just for a breath, to soften your grip. Open your hand. Let the rose rest in your palm. You will find that when you stop trying to own the beauty in your life, you finally have the freedom to actually enjoy it. You lose the mine, but you gain the all. Love does not die when it is set free. It finally begins to breathe. Message 6. The power of not reacting, the 3-second sacred pause. We live in a world that demands an immediate answer. A text notification dings, and we feel the phantom itch to reply instantly. Someone cuts us off in traffic, and our hands grip the wheel in a reflex of anger. An insult is thrown, and before we even realize it, the retort is already halfway out of our mouths. We have been conditioned to believe that speed is strength, that to be quick on our feet is to be powerful. But in the quiet light of Buddhist wisdom, we see that this constant reactivity is actually a form of slavery. Imagine an ancient, gnarled tree standing alone on a high cliff. A violent summer storm rolls in. The wind howls, tearing at the leaves. The rain lashes against the bark. The lightning cracks the very air around it. To an observer, the tree looks like it is in agony as its branches sway and toss. But beneath the soil, unseen and silent, the roots are wrapped deep around the heavy stones of the earth. The storm can shake the leaves, it can even break a few twigs, but it cannot move the tree. The tree does not fight the wind, it simply remains rooted. This is the power of non-reaction. It is the ability to let the world be loud without letting that noise echo inside your own sanctuary. There is a famous Zen story about the master Hakuin. When he was falsely accused of fathering a child and his reputation was dragged through the mud, he didn't protest, he didn't rage. He didn't try to prove his innocence with frantic explanations. He simply looked at his accusers and said, "Is that so?" Years later, when the truth finally came out and the townspeople came to apologize in shame, he looked at them with the same unshakable peace and said, "Is that so? Hakuin was the tree." The accusations were just the wind. The bridge between being a victim of your emotions and being a master of your soul is built in a very small space. The 3-second sacred pause. Most of our suffering happens because the gap between a stimulus and our response has vanished. We have become like a piano. Whenever a key is pressed, we must make a sound. But you are not an instrument to be played by the world. You are the musician. The practice is deceptively simple, yet it is where your freedom sprouts. When you feel that visceral pull to snap back, to defend yourself, or to spiral into anxiety, give yourself exactly 3 seconds of silence. Second one, breathe in and notice the hook. Feel where the tension is in your body, the heat in your chest or the tightness in your throat. Second two, remind yourself, this is a cloud passing through my sky. I am the sky, not the cloud. Second three, choose. Ask yourself, does my reaction add to the peace of this moment or to the chaos? In those 3 seconds, you reclaim your power. You realize that non-reaction is not a sign of weakness or passivity. It is the ultimate mastery. It is the refusal to let a temporary circumstance dictate your eternal worth. Tonight, try to be the tree. Let the comments, the delays, and the judgments blow through your branches. They may rustle your leaves, but let them find no purchase in your roots. Remember, the storm eventually runs out of breath, but the tree remains. Your peace is not a gift the world gives you. It is a fortress you build by choosing 3 seconds at a time to stay exactly where you are. Message 7. You are not your thoughts, the sky and the clouds. Have you ever stopped to listen to the constant narrator inside your head? The one that critiques your reflection in the mirror, replays your most embarrassing mistakes at 3 in the morning, and whispers that you are falling behind. Most of us spend our entire lives in a state of quiet exhaustion because we believe every word this voice says. We mistake the chatter for our soul. We think that because we feel a thought, it must be the truth. But imagine for a moment that you are the sky. a boundless, deep blue expanse that stretches infinitely in every direction. The sky is eternal, silent, and ancient. Now, look at your thoughts, your anxieties, and your fleeting moods. They are the clouds. Some clouds are light and wispy, like a passing dream. Others are dark, heavy, and thunderous, blocking out the sun for days. There may even be hurricanes that rip through the air, shaking the very atmosphere. But when the storm eventually passes, as all storms must, the sky is still there. The sky was never bruised by the lightning. It was never dampened by the rain. It was never diminished by the grayness. The sky simply held the weather, but it was never the weather itself. In Buddhist teaching, this is the profound realization of anatta, or the not-self. The Buddha once compared the mind to a wild monkey swinging through a forest, grabbing one branch only to let it go and reach for another. It is restless, frightened, and constantly looking for something to grasp. But you are not the monkey. You are the forest watching the monkey swing. You are the silent space in which all that movement happens. There is an old Zen story about a student who went to his master in tears. "Master," he cried, "my mind is full of terrible thoughts, anger, and fear. How do I get rid of them?" The master simply pointed to a mountain in the distance and asked, "Does the mountain try to push the clouds away?" The student shook his head. "No," the master replied, "it just lets them pass." The mountain is still there long after the clouds have vanished into the blue. The key shift in your life begins when you adopt a gentle skepticism toward your own mind. Stop believing everything you think. Many of the thoughts that haunt you are not even yours. They are echoes of a parent's old criticism, a teacher's doubt, or the collective anxiety of a world that profits from your insecurity. They are just biological signals, like the wind rustling the leaves. They are uninvited guests in the house of your soul. You can acknowledge them, you can even offer them a seat, but you don't have to serve them tea. You don't have to let them move in and rearrange the furniture. Tonight, when a heavy thought drifts into your awareness, don't fight it. Don't try to fix the cloud. Just watch it. Say to yourself, a cloud of doubt is passing through. Breathe into the vastness of your own blue sky. You are the stillness that remains when the noise fades. You are the depth that no storm can reach. You are the sky, boundless, open, and forever free. Give yourself permission to just be the sky. Message 8. The Still Pond. How many hours of your life have been traded for a nod of approval? We spend our days like beggars at the gates of others' opinions, hoping for a crumb of well done or a small coin of you are enough. We adjust our voices, we polish our smiles, and we hide our shadows, all to ensure that the reflection we see in the eyes of the world is a kind one. But have you ever noticed that the more you try to manage how others see you, the more blurred and muddy your own soul becomes? Imagine a small, ancient pond nestled in a valley. When the air is quiet, the water is so clear you can see the white pebbles at the bottom and the green moss clinging to the rocks. But then, a wagon of horses rushes through the shallow edge, or a heavy rain falls, and suddenly the water is brown with silt. The clarity is gone. If you were standing at the edge of that muddy pond, desperate to see your own reflection again, what would you do? Most of us would jump in. We would try to scrub the water, pushing the mud down with our hands, trying to force the silt to move. But the more you splash, the murkier the water gets. Every fix, every explanation, and every defense of your character is just another stone thrown into the pond. Splash, more ripples, splash, more mud. There is a beautiful story of the Buddha traveling with his disciples. It was a hot day, and he asked Ananda to fetch some water from a nearby stream. When Ananda reached it, a few bullock carts had just crossed, and the water was thick with mud. He returned empty-handed, saying, "The water is too dirty to drink." A little while later, The Buddha asked him to go back. Ananda protested, but he went. When he arrived, the water had become crystal clear. The mud had simply settled of its own accord. The Buddha smiled and said, "To make the water clear, you did nothing. You let it be. It became clear on its own." The key shift in your life happens when you realize that stillness is the ultimate answer to judgment. When you are constantly reacting to what people think of you, you are giving them a target to hit. You are moving, shaking, and vibrating with insecurity. But when you become truly still, when you stop needing their applause to feel valid, you become like a mirror. A mirror reflects the world, but it does not hold the reflection. If someone looks at a mirror and sees something they don't like, they are not judging the mirror. They are judging themselves. When you are still enough, the world eventually stops judging you. Not because people have changed, but because they realize their judgments have nowhere to land. Your peace is no longer a negotiable thing that they can trade for. You have returned to yourself. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that seeking approval is like drinking salt water. It only makes the thirst deeper. Tonight, stop throwing stones into your own pond. Stop trying to fix the mud of what others say or think. Just sit by the bank, breathe. Let the silt of the world's opinions sink to the bottom where it belongs. In the quiet that follows, you will see your own face again, not the one the world wants to see, but the one you were born with. Clear, undisturbed, enough. Message 9. No is a sacred prayer, boundaries as compassion. Have you ever noticed how heavy the word yes can become? We utter it 1,000 times a day to a boss who asks for one more hour, to a friend who drains our energy with the same old drama, to a family member who expects us to set aside our peace for their convenience. We say yes because we were taught that kindness is synonymous with self-sacrifice. We were told that a good person is one who is always available, always yielding, and always soft. But there is a quiet, painful betrayal happening in the background of every forced yes. Every time you agree to something that makes your soul recoil, you are committing an act of self-abandonment. You are essentially telling your own heart, your needs do not matter. Your peace is secondary to their comfort. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a beautiful concept called metta, or loving kindness. We often think metta is only directed outward, like a beam of light shining on the world. But the Buddha was very clear. You can search the whole universe and not find a single person who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. Compassion is not a one-way street. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. It is not a virtue. It is an imbalance. Think of your life as a sacred temple garden. For the flowers of peace, patience, and wisdom to grow, the garden must have a fence, not a spiked wall of hatred, but a gentle, firm boundary that says, this space is protected. If you leave the gates wide open to every passing traveler, every stray animal, and every storm, the garden will be trampled, the soil will be packed hard, and the delicate blossoms of your inner life will never have the chance to breathe. There is an old Zen story about a monk who was known for his absolute kindness. He never said no to anyone. One day, a thief came and asked for his robes. He gave them. A beggar asked for his food. He gave it. Eventually, he sat shivering and starving in the cold, unable to meditate, unable to help anyone anymore. His master found him and whispered, "A lamp that gives away all its oil to the wind is no longer a light. It is just a piece of cold clay. To serve the world, you must first guard your own flame." The key shift in your awakening happens when you realize boundaries are not walls. They are an act of high compassion. When you say no to a situation that drains you, you are saying yes to your own sanity. You are saying yes to the version of you that can show up for the people you truly love with a full cup rather than a hollow shell. No is a complete sentence. It does not require a 10-page explanation or an apology. It is a boundary of respect. Tonight, ask yourself, where have I been abandoning myself in the name of being nice? Stop confusing people, pleasing with holiness. Guilt is just a ghost of the past trying to tell you that you don't have the right to exist for yourself. Breathe in the strength of the temple fence. Let your no be a quiet prayer of self-reverence. When you stop abandoning yourself, you will find that the love you give to others is no longer a heavy chore. It becomes a radiant gift, born of a heart that finally knows how to say yes to its own peace. Message 10. The Farmer's Trust. We live in a world that worships the harvest, but has forgotten how to honor the soil. We are told that if we aren't making it happen, we are falling behind. We check our progress like we check our phones obsessively every few minutes, hoping for a notification that our life has finally started. If a dream doesn't manifest by 30, if a wound doesn't heal by next month, or if a project doesn't succeed by Tuesday, we fall into a fever of anxiety. We believe that if we aren't straining, we aren't succeeding. But imagine, for a moment, a wise farmer. He has spent his days in the sun, tilling the earth until his hands are calloused and his back is weary. He has selected the finest seeds and tucked them gently into the dark, cool embrace of the soil. He has watered them. He has done his part. And then, and this is the most sacred part of his work, he goes to sleep. He doesn't stay awake all night with a flashlight, peeling back the dirt to see if the roots have started. He doesn't stand over the field and scream at the seeds to hurry up because his neighbor's crops are already showing green. He knows that beneath the surface, in the silent, unseen dark, a miracle is unfolding that has nothing to do with his effort. He understands that growth has its own secret clock, and his anxiety cannot shave a single second off the time it takes for a seed to become a sprout. There is a famous ancient story of a man from the state of Song who was so impatient for his rice plants to grow that he went into the field and began pulling them upward, inch by inch, to help them along. He returned home exhausted, telling his family, "I'm worn out, but I helped the rice grow today." His son rushed to the field only to find that every single plant had withered and died. By trying to force the timing, the man murdered the life he was trying to nurture. How often do we do this to our own souls? We pull at the sprouts of our healing. We demand that our grief end before it has taught us what we need to know. We try to force a relationship to ripen or a career to bloom before the season is right. In Buddhist wisdom, we are taught the balance of right effort. You do the work, you plant the seed with love and discipline, but then you must surrender the fruit. The key shift in your peace arrives when you realize your worth is not dependent on how fast the seed sprouts. Whether the plant breaks through the soil tomorrow or 2 years from now, you are still the farmer who did the work. The delay is not a denial, it is a ripening. Some things, like the giant bamboo, spend years anchoring their roots in total silence before they ever show a single leaf above ground. Was that time wasted? Or was it the most essential part of the journey? Tonight, take a deep breath and look at the seeds you've planted in your life, your goals, your healing, your quiet hopes. Have you done your part? If the answer is yes, then your only remaining task is to trust the dark. Stop pacing the perimeter of your field. Stop measuring yourself against the harvest of others. The universe does not rush, yet everything is accomplished. Lay your head down, close your eyes, trust the unfolding. The earth knows what to do with the seeds you've given it. You've done enough for today. Now let it be. Message 11. The quiet exit. There is a noisy myth we carry in our hearts, a belief that strength is measured by how long we can stand in the fire. We are told that quitting is a mark of weakness, that we must endure every toxic relationship, every draining job, and every fruitless argument until we are nothing but ash. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, believing that if we just fight a little harder, the world will eventually reward our suffering. But in the clear, cool light of Buddhist wisdom, we find a different kind of bravery, the courage to walk away. Imagine you are a traveler walking through a dense forest. You find yourself on a path that is becoming increasingly choked with thorns. The further you push, the more the briars tear at your skin and snag your clothes. You are bleeding, tired, and lost. Does it make you strong to keep pushing forward into the thorns just because you started on this path? Or is the truest wisdom found in stopping, taking a deep breath, and quietly turning back toward the open meadow? In Buddhist teaching, this is the practice of equanimity, the realization that not every battle is yours to fight. The Buddha once said, "To be angry is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned." The same is true for every draining situation you refuse to leave. By staying in a place that diminishes your light, you are the one holding the coal. There is an old story of a man who came to the Buddha and began to insult him with great fury. The Buddha sat in perfect, radiant silence. When the man finally ran out of breath, the Buddha asked him gently, "If you offer a gift to someone and that person does not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man replied, "It belongs to me, of course." The Buddha smiled. "Then I do not accept your anger. It remains with you." This is the essence of the quiet exit. You don't need to slam the door. You don't need to have the last word or launch a grand defense of your character. You simply stop accepting the gift of chaos. You realize that your presence is a sacred resource, and you have every right to withdraw it from places that do not honor it. The key shift happens when you reframe your departure. Leaving is not a failure. It is an act of alignment. When you walk away from a situation that drains your peace, you aren't losing a battle. You are realigning your soul with its own dharma, its true purpose. You are deciding that your energy is better spent on growth than on defense. You are choosing the stillness of the lake over the turbulence of the storm. Ask yourself tonight, what am I staying in simply because I'm afraid of the word ending? What conflict am I fueling with my own exhaustion? Remember, the sun does not apologize for setting when its time is done. The autumn leaf does not feel guilty for letting go of the branch. They are simply following the rhythm of life. Give yourself permission to make a quiet exit. Walk away from the noise, the drama, and the expectations that no longer fit the person you are becoming. You aren't giving up. You are finally, after a long journey through the thorns, coming home to yourself. Message 12. Don't become the emotion, the guest house of the soul. Have you ever noticed how quickly a single feeling can swallow your entire identity? You don't just feel sad. You say, "I am sad." You don't just feel a flash of irritation. You say, "I am angry." In that tiny, two-letter word, "am you," have performed a dangerous piece of magic. You have fused your vast eternal soul with a temporary chemical storm. You have mistaken the dark clouds for the sky itself. Imagine your heart is a beautiful old guest house nestled deep in a quiet forest. Throughout the day, travelers knock on the door. One is named grief, carrying a heavy suitcase of memories. Another is anxiety, pacing back and forth on your porch. Then comes joy, bright-eyed and singing. As the host, your job is to open the door, acknowledge them, and perhaps even offer them a seat. But the mistake we all make is letting these guests take the keys, lock us in the cellar, and start claiming they own the house. We let anger repaint the walls red and fear board up the windows. Before long, we've forgotten that we are the owner. We start to believe we are the guests. In Buddhist psychology, there is a profound practice called vipassana, or insight. It teaches us to look at our feelings as Vedana, simply sensations arising and passing. The Buddha once described the mind like a mirror. A mirror can reflect a roaring fire, but the mirror itself never gets hot. It can reflect a cold, frozen lake, but the mirror never freezes. The mirror is always clear, always empty, and always ready for the next reflection. There is a famous Zen story of a monk who was meditating by a river when a man approached and began to insult him, calling him a fraud and a fool. The monk remained perfectly still. Finally, the man yelled, "Why don't you react? Don't you feel the anger rising?" The monk opened his eyes and whispered, "If I am a mirror, I see your anger. But why should I invite it to live inside me? I have no room for furniture that isn't mine." The key shift in your awakening happens when you move from I am to I notice. Instead of saying I am overwhelmed, try saying, I notice a feeling of being overwhelmed is passing through me. This small shift creates a sacred gap, a breathing room for your soul. You are no longer the drowning person in the middle of the ocean. You are the one standing on the shore, watching the waves rise and fall. Emotions are like weather. They are powerful, they are real, and they can be loud. But they are always, without exception, temporary. No storm has ever lasted forever. Your job is not to stop the rain or to fight the wind. Your job is to remain the sanctuary. Tonight, as you sit in the quiet, ask yourself, who is sitting in the living room of my heart right now? Is it a guest you've allowed to overstay their welcome? Don't try to kick them out with violence that only creates more noise. Just walk to the window, look out at the moon, and remember that you are the house, not the traveler. You are the mirror, not the image. You are the sky, and you have always been free. When you stop becoming the emotion, you realize that nothing can truly hurt you, because you are finally resting in the part of yourself that cannot be burned, drowned, or broken. Closing. The door was never locked. In this gathering stillness, you may begin to notice something, not a sudden, jolting change, but a quiet, sacred space opening inside you. It is a clearing in the deep forest of your mind, a place where not everything requires a reaction, where not every thought demands your belief, and where not every broken situation is yours to repair. In the ancient stream of Buddhist wisdom, freedom is not a destination you travel toward or a trophy you earn through endless struggle. It is something you remember. It is a homecoming. You remember that you were never born to be a pack animal for the world's heavy expectations. You were never asked to become a mirror for everyone else's desires. You were only ever meant to be right here, breathing, aware, perfectly present. Tonight, you do not need to solve the puzzle of your life. You do not need to untangle every knot of the past or win every battle of the future. Just for this moment, let the tension drain from your weary shoulders. Loosen the grip you've held so tightly on your own heart. Soften your reaction to the noise and the judgment of the world. Let one thing, just one small thing, simply be exactly as it is, without your interference. As you drift toward rest, realize this very simple, very ancient truth. Nothing and no one ever truly had the power to take your peace away. Peace is not a gift the world gives you. It is the very ground you stand on. You only forgot where you left the key in the rush of the day. But the door, my friend, was never locked. You have always been free to return home. If these reflections brought stillness to your soul, we invite you to subscribe and walk this path of awakening with us. Share in the comments below. What is one thing you are choosing not to react to tonight? Your presence is our greatest gift. Sleep well, and remember you are already enough.